Alright, hello there. This is my fourth lesson, and this lesson is going to be kind of building off the last lesson. It's going to be on unhealthy diets and eating disorders. Um, Obviously, we're growing up, we grew up in a different time than our parents, and um, the kids we teach are going to grow up in a different time than us, and eating disorders seem to be becoming a real problem. And I thought it would be a good thing to include in a health lesson just moving forward. So this lesson will focus on high school students and middle school students in some cases. I don't think it's appropriate for elementary students quite yet, but you never know. This would also be Health Education Standards 7 and 8, which just have to do with being able to enhance health behavior, not only for yourself, but for your community and the people around you. Valued outcomes for this lesson, students will understand the dangers involved in eating disorders. Um, Secondly, students will understand the keys to positive body image. I think that's going to be something really important to go over, especially when dealing with kids who probably aren't dealing with eating disorders but may be at risk. Just going over how they can view their body in a positive way. Um, Three, students will learn to look critically at fad diets that may not be beneficial for their health. Um, there are things that come out every year about liquid diets and things that, are bad for your kidneys and your liver and cause lots of problems. So before you decide to just go on a diet because so and so says it's a great idea, you should really look into it. Description of strategy for this lesson. Students will be given a short lecture on common eating disorders and their effect on one's health, going over things from even how bulimia can affect dental health, things like that. Secondly, students will read a number of testimonies from online blogs about people who may struggle with eating disorders. Hopefully this will help take the stigma involved in eating disorders out of it. Like, you hear people all the time, well, why don't they just stop? Not understanding it's not that easy for these people to just stop. It's a real mental challenge that they're going through, and in some cases they'd rather lose their life than gain weight, which is really sad. Moving forward, number 3, the class will have a discussion on what may cause eating disorders and ways to talk to friends who they suspect may be struggling with an eating disorder. Basically, it's just good to give students tools so that when they find themselves in these situations, they know that teachers can be there to help them, not necessarily just to get them in trouble. I know a lot of students are scared to talk to teachers because they don't want to get in trouble or don't want their friends to get in trouble. I think it's important they realize that teachers are there to help them, not only to learn, but just with daily life struggles. 4, so students will be given a short lecture on the differences between healthy and unhealthy dieting, with a focus on fad diets such as the fasting diet and liquid diet. Pretty similar to what we've been talking about. Materials needed. We're going to try to have computers available for the entire class, so probably in a computer lab just for the blogs that we'd find online. There's a ton out there on eating disorders that I'm sure could be found that would be beneficial to the class. A whiteboard would also be used just for the lecture, just putting up statistics of why it's a problem, things like that. Formative evaluation for this lesson. Let's see, level 1, students will know most common types of eating disorders, so obviously anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa would probably be the 2 main types to focus on as far as eating disorders. Let's see, level 2, students will understand the dangers that are involved with eating disorders. Level 3, students will be able to look critically at fad diets. And level 4, the one that I think, every student should strive to obtain in this lesson, or you should try to have your students obtain, would be that students will understand how to intervene when they see friends suffering with an eating disorder. They'll know who to go to, they'll know there are numbers they can call, and that there are teachers in their school who are willing to help them through those situations. So points of emphasis, you really want to try to take away the stigma related to eating disorders, because I think a lot of times you see these people who could get help, but people are viewing them in a negative way, and sadly they don't get help. Partially because of that stigma. Also, another point of emphasis would be to give students the tools, to give the students tools that they can use to help their peers and themselves if in a situation where they may need help. All right. Thank you.